All right, it is hump day. Final week of the NFL season. The final week of the 2025-26 season. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. Cody looking fresh right there. Nice fresh shower. Never hurt anyone. He's feeling himself today.
I take a shower every day. I don't know why it gets called out as like a special thing on Wednesday.
Looking clean, man. Looking fresh and clean like Outcast. By the way, join SNL Live at Spanky's Friday, February 20th. We will be getting ready for the NFL Combine. The very next week, we'll be at the NFL Combine. We want you to join us. The usual stuff that we enjoy at Spanky's. Lots of stuff to give away. Be there. Be square. That's 3 Fridays from now at Spanky's.
Yes. 3 Friday. You always say that. So weird. I don't understand why you do it that way. It's 2 weeks from Friday. Okay. All right. 14 days from this Friday.
Not 1, not 2, but 3.
No, that's not. Anyway, it's going to be a blast. We're going to get you ready for
3 Cody showers from now. 3 Cody showers from now.
No, that's like 17 showers from now. Okay. I shower every day. The 20th, be at Spanky's. We'll be there. We'll be having a blast. We're talking draft, talking free agency, getting you ready for really what kind of kicks off the offseason, which is that combine week where the entire NFL descends on Indianapolis.
All right, let's get into it.
And if you go by Spanky's today, you got the one topping large pizza for $11.75 after 4 p.m., which it is indeed after 4 p.m. So stop by, get you a pizza.
Green Bean Preteen says, Landry, why does it sound like you have a cough drop in your mouth? I have 4 cough drops in my mouth, so that is a good by you. Nothing gets by you. I'm just trying to survive, bro.
You look like you got hit in the face and you're swelling up on one side.
Move them to the other side.
I don't. It's.
I'm just trying to survive here. I'm trying to breathe in the Vicks. I'm very medicated. I think it's counterproductive, but I don't think that Marihucci is good when you have a cold, but I kind of think it is too.
It's definitely not, but
I'm trying to rest up. We had some drama in the house yesterday. We cut the dog's nails. The nail, one of the nails bled. It wasn't that big of a deal, but the dog acted like it was dying. So I stayed up. I got 3 hours sleep. I woke up. I took the daughter to daycare. I did some work today. So I'm grinding through it. So yes, I do have a lot of cough drops. Did not get a haircut though, like CJ Stroud. Now that the dust has settled, where are we at on this haircut thing? Because there's like 3, there's 3 different thoughts. One is kind of just the piling on. You're piling on CJ Stroud no matter what. 2 is, oh my gosh, this is an awesome change, and this is a sign of things to come. And then 3 is, why the hell are y'all talking about a haircut? Those are like the 3 thoughts that I see with the CJ Stroud haircut.
Well, I would say this about if you have number 3 as your thought process. It's not like he's had a whole bunch of time to get together with everybody, go throw and start figuring things out and get timing down. Like they've been done for a couple of weeks. If he doesn't immediately just jump right back into football, God forgive him. I think it's significant because it's not like you or I getting a haircut. Like you get a regular haircut each and every few months. I get a regular haircut each and every few months. Like most of our audience does. Like CJ was not getting
few months.
CJ was not getting a like full change of his hairstyle very often. Like it was just getting like there was some investment. There's some long-term investment in that. And to change that and not want to do that anymore, it's pretty significant.
You get a haircut once every few months? That's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive. You meant weeks, right?
No, I don't get a haircut every few weeks. I get it every couple of months.
Damn, that's impressive. First of all, I think it is like you said, if you cut off your locks and you've been growing your locks for 6 years, 7 years, that's a big deal. It's not like a small decision. I think Jonathan Alexander put out the quote that he's kind of joked about it. CJ's joked about it the last few times he's gotten a haircut, but this time he was actually serious and he did it. So from that perspective, I find it interesting that I'm seeing some brothers, and I don't know if it's just meat writing gone wrong or what, but some of them are like, oh, he just got a haircut. Anyone who knows anyone who has locks know that when you cut the locks off, it's not just a haircut. Like that's asinine. So I just think that's kind of meat writing gone wrong. Do I think this is going to make CJ Stroud go like crazy and play better and get rid of whatever yips he may or may not have had? No, but I do think that it was a time where we were talking about CJ Stroud going through a very tough time mentally, and us acknowledging how hard it was going to be for him to deal with everything going on. And when you make a significant change like that as you're going through it, maybe it's just kind of like a symbolic fresh start or something like that. So I'm not sitting here saying like all is right or, you feel much better about CJ Stroud, but I don't think it's like just like a normal, oh, he got a haircut and you're making a big deal about it. I don't think this is like some sort of like TMZ nature where everything he does is a big deal. I think it's a big deal when you cut off your locks that you've been growing for 6 or 7 years, no matter what. And then when you factor in what we've been saying about CJ Stroud, I think it's interesting. And the other thing that I said yesterday on the stream was like all those gifts, they're expired now. Like you're going to put a picture of him in locks and say, and like let's say that Drake May goes out there and throws 5 interceptions and it's Drake May when the Super Bowl starts and it's CJ Stroud. Well, he doesn't have the locks anymore. So it is kind of a fresh start. Like it's kind of expired at this point.
No, you're right about that. But if you don't think somebody could make that guy look like Drake May and that girl look like Mrs. Drake May, then somebody'd have some fun with that picture. But no, you're right about that. A lot of the mistakes are. I think the big thing is change, and we know that CJ had to change his offseason approach because he didn't achieve what he wanted to achieve in the regular season. We know he had to change it from year 1 to year 2. He said as much. Whatever he did from year 2 to year 3, that wasn't good enough because it didn't provide the results that he was looking for. So now year 3 to year 4, something different, something changed in the entirety of the offseason, not just a haircut, but just how he approaches things, how he learns the system in the offseason, how he picks things up, how he works out with guys. Like all that has to be looked at and adjusted appropriately to get what he wants out of the season. And maybe cutting the hair that I assume that it's a lot less time management or a lot less hair management now. You just kind of get ready and go.
I still can't believe you get a haircut once every few months. That's crazy. That's very impressive of you. That you're able to do that.
What's so impressive about it?
I mean, you don't look like your hair doesn't look too bad for someone who gets it cut once every few months. It's impressive, I think. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty solid, man. I'm like once every 2 weeks.
Someone in the chat call the FBI. Someone's impersonating Landry. I got a compliment on my appearance from him.
No,
So did you get abducted by aliens? What's going on here?
Bro. I'm on meds. I'm high. No, I a few months is crazy. That's crazy. It's got to feel weird for him. But the other thing is there's history lessons. And Patrick said I'm white splaining when talking about how big of a deal it is to cut the locks off. I think that's a little bit of a decent observation by he. But there are history lessons of people when they're going through like peak mental times in their careers getting haircuts. Like there's one that really sticks out. Like you look at it and like she was going through a big mental time. She got a haircut. Now it didn't end well. Like hopefully the CJ Stroud into the locks doesn't result in him doing like TikTok videos with like knives and shit and falling off.
Oh no.
Sometimes when you're going through mental phase, sometimes a haircut is what you need. Now hopefully this goes a different direction. But yeah, sometimes it'd be like that.
Oh man. I don't know about the Britney Spears comp.
I'm just saying, sometimes you need a haircut.
There's got to be, and I guess if there was, the Chronicle probably would have done a slideshow of it, but there's got to be a list of quarterbacks that have gotten like significant haircuts and like the results after those haircuts somewhere. I guess most QBs kind of keep the same look.
By the way, are we not a little bit disappointed that
Hey bro, Alpha Aaron here.
This should have been Alpha's story, man.
I don't.
This should have been the alpha story, man. He got the Pro Bowl, and then man, like
This
should have been the alphas, man.
Well, it was a haircut. It wasn't a cut of a backup player on the wire. Okay.
All right. On Z Chat.
Swarm.
Green Bean preteen. CJ trying to go back to when he was a good QB. He's been a good QB with the Locks.
Yeah, he's had some good moments, and certainly the rookie season was good, but he was really good as a kid. He ended up as a highly touted recruit and went to Ohio State. So maybe there's a little bit of recapture of that.
It's got to feel
it's
got to feel crazy to cut your hair like that, though.
How much do you think physically the weight that was removed from his head?
I don't know if it's weight, but it's got to feel crazy. Like you go to sleep and all that. It's got to be nuts.
Yeah, your head lays different on the pillow.
And now he needs the Guardian cap to complete the image change. Now we need the haircut and the Guardian cap. 100%. I'm still on the Guardian cap. Haircut, Guardian cap, image repaired. Let's go.
No, I don't need the Guardian cap.
Rich Boy J on Z Chat.
Swarm.
He says CJ should have saved the cut for a hair versus hair match.
Him versus
he had one. It was with Drake May. They just didn't mention it.
I'm just thinking about like the Texans and the Chargers square off next year, and it's like, all right, losers shaving their head, and you got to see bald Herbert the next week. It'd be quite the change.
I think he's rocking it. I like the look. I like the change.
Well, and we haven't seen it's not like we it. Like you see a picture outside of Bible study, and you see a picture right after it got cut. Like it's not like it's like he's done anything to it, or it's gonna look a little different when the season gets here too. Like I think he's got some some styling to do with it, so getting used to it. So we'll see how it ultimately looks.
What else needs to change for the Texans?
Well, I think there's a couple of just philosophical approaches that could be adjusted and changed for this team this offseason. I'd like for them to find some long-term solutions in the trenches. They don't have a lot of long-term solutions. And by no means am I looking to lock into mediocrity. That's not what I'm saying. But I do feel like at some point, especially with where they're about to be as a team and some of the big contracts are going to start coming up, they've got to go about changing some of those short-term commitments that they're willing to make at some key spots. Offensive line, and then defensive tackle being another one. Now they can manage the defensive tackle one a little bit more, but I'd love to know 3, maybe 4 offensive linemen for the next few seasons. And I understand we were supposed to get that if the draft picks had hit. Ultimately, the draft picks didn't, but you still have to go out there and put some cohesiveness together. They can explain that the cohesiveness doesn't matter. Titus sat there at the end of the season and said it was great when we finally knew who the 5 guys were and we got into a rhythm. And that was the best stretch of blocking that they had, with a couple of hiccups in there, certainly. But just their willingness to have so many moving parts in a short-term sphere, I'd like for that to change a little bit for the Texans. That's one of the philosophical things I'd love to see changed.
So what are we doing with Titus here? Like, is it like whatever opportunity presents the best look, what interior or outside? Like if you find a tackle you like, you bump him inside. If you find a guard you like, you bump him outside. Like, what are we doing here? Obviously it can change in season, but is that how they approach Titus Howard now, where we find the best guy and we adjust accordingly, and Titus plays off of the guy as opposed to the guy playing off Titus? I think that's where his value is, honestly. Like, I don't think he's great tackle. I don't think he's a great guard. I think he can play good stretches of both. I don't know that I'm going to buy back-to-back years of Titus Howard or like be fully bought in on it. But it does seem like that's where the value is. And I think it's good value to have where you can adjust to that. But do you see them saying, okay, we want Titus to be our right tackle, or we want Titus to be a guard, and we're going to adjust there? Or do you see it the previously mentioned way?
I would think that because he showcased the ability to do both in a season, and maybe there's not a huge like training difference for him, that they may just let how the offseason plays out dictate where he goes. It felt very much like they had no intention of playing him at tackle last year with the way they approached the tackle spot, adding Cam Robinson, adding Trent Brown. They still had Blake Fisher. They drafted Ariante Ursary. They still had, they had Austin Deculus in the building. And then Titus's initial opportunities were at guard. So it felt like they didn't want him to be a part of the guards situation. Once Fisher and Robinson became less impressive options, then it became, okay, well, Titus is going to be the right tackle. I have a hunch that they don't have a design spot for him. And if they get a really good right tackle, then Titus is a guard. If they get a really good guard, then they'll move him out to tackle. So I think it's let the other player acquisition dictate where he goes more so than plan and have that plan blow up on him because this or that fell into their lap.
I think that's great. Honestly, I think that's fine at this point. I think the versatility, I think they found the true value of versatility when it comes to Titus Howard at this point.
They also have to do something with his contract. He's the second highest cap hit on the team at almost $30 million. And so is that a adjustment so then kick the can down the road to when they ultimately get rid of him? Is it a small extension? I mean, it doesn't seem to me like they're getting rid of him. They'd save $4 million if they did, but it doesn't seem to me like they'd be ready to get rid of Titus Howard. So I feel like he and Ariante Ursary are locking up two of those spots on the offensive line. And then the other three spots, again, depending where Titus is, the other three spots are sort of up for grabs.
It feels like Andrews, though. It feels like Andrews is safe.
Oh, you think he's locked in?
It feels that way.
I would not be surprised to see some competition in the building for him. That's not Jared Patterson, not Juice Scruggs.
He's just clearly the favorite. And Nick Caserio going out of his way to basically say, well, he's been playing hurt, and that just shows what kind of awesome man he is. It just kind of makes you feel like he's safe. But I agree with you. I'm not saying what should. This isn't a what should. I agree with like what you're saying that there should be. I'm just saying like based on words, actions, and all that. I think that they think that he is a guy whose arrow is pointing up, who can play better, who will be more healthy, who's finally getting experience, who they like a lot. So that's all I'm saying. This is not a should. This is a what I think they will do.
Yeah, I would say Cody Stoots has 2 spots on the offensive line accounted for. I would tell you the Houston Texans, I agree with you, have 3 spots accounted for.
Okay, so we agree on that. And that's always the balance of this. It's like you're talking about what they should do and what they would do. We try to make it as clear as possible. But I'm 100% with you. He's our guy. But, I mean, you should, if the opportunity presents itself, be willing to do better than what you got from Andrews last year.
Well, and if you should have somebody closer to being able to beat him out than Scruggs and Patterson served last year. I mean, they're fine backups, but it'd be nice to have somebody just, push Andrews a little bit and make him, fight for the spot. Ursary didn't have to fight for the spot. He's the left tackle. He played left tackle all year long. Whatever Titus ends up being, Titus is there. And then I would assume additions fill out the other 2 spots. So whatever guard spot, if it's not Titus, at tackle, and then if Titus at tackle, 2 guards, a new face and maybe a rookie and maybe a signee. So
let's talk coaches. By the way, join us live 3 Cody Stoots showers from now at the NFL Combine SNL send-off at Spanky Sharpstown, February 20th, Friday. We want to see you there. All the diehards, we want to see you there. And if you never joined us at a Spanky's gathering, we'll see you there. 3 Cody Stoots showers from now.
Yeah, it's 17 showers from now, but okay. There's one more thing I think I want to see. I want to see changed as well, and it's just their approach to running backs. We've talked about it a bunch, but they have not highly valued the position as much as other teams, and they've got to fix that. And they've got to have a better running back room. So.
Yes, and that is that is a very sensitive subject for me.
And that feels philosophical more so than like what they had available to them. Like Correct. It's philosophical that you had Daria Gumawale still around, not he was the only guy.
Well, and you had Damian Pierce linger around for 4 years. And British Brooks is there. He doesn't really ever get an opportunity, but the one time that you saw him, it was kind of like, Okay. I guess we'll never see that again. So yes, it is. It is philosophically, they're very bad when it comes to running backs. Let's talk coaches. Who is the assistant coach you would least want to lose? I don't think this is a very good staff. To be honest with you, I don't think it's a very intriguing staff. I think you can find it on the lower tier. I don't think anyone's dying to hire Matt Burke as their head coach or Nick Caley as their OC or head coach. But if I told Cody Stoots and Albert Breer saying that he could see LaFleur going and getting some Texans assistants. He mentioned that today. I don't think that's something that you pull out of your ass. I wouldn't think.
Right.
That would be a weird thing to pull out of your ass. But what assistant, if I told you the Texans are going to lose an assistant, what assistant would you say you least want them to lose?
There's only two in consideration, and really there's only one that is the right answer to this. It's Rod Wright.
Yeah.
It's Rod Wright. Yeah. It's defensive line coach Rod Wright. I mean, he's been excellent with them. It's a talented group that continues to get even better. If their players on the upswing, it's squeezing the last little bit out of every single veteran and rotation and depth guy that gets in there. And it's Rod Wright. The defensive line is the engine of the superpower, and he's done a great job with the super talented guys that he has that are there and how well they've played, but everybody else that's in that defensive line room, from the defensive tackles to the backup ends and everything else, they've gotten more than they could have wanted out of that defensive line, and Rod Wright is absolutely the answer to this.
Yeah, the two names that Breer mentions are defensive passing game coordinator Corey Unlin, who I believe was the DC for the Lions in 2021 or 2020, something like that, and DB coach Dino Vasso, who's also a guy that's very respected. So I would agree with you that it's Rod Wright. I think eventually that's going to happen. The good news is I don't think there's like a threat to lose Matt Burke, so Matt Burke can just remain D'Amico's right-hand man for a long time. But I'm with you. I think Rod Wright is inevitably going to be gone, and I think he's the guy. Now, some would say, well, you have Will Anderson and you have Daniil Hunter. I think he played interior, and I think that the development of the interior guys and the way in which they play, I think it's hard to ignore and minimize what Rod Wright's potential impact is. And the other thing is, when you listen to him, I mean, he's just a sharp SOB. You go back to Texas, he was one of the leaders of that national championship team. He's just, he's hard not to like. And he's also kind of just grinded to be a coach. Like it's not like it's not a Gerard Johnson elevate where it's kind of like, wow, damn, he's already a QB coach for 3 years. That's kind of crazy. Rod Wright's been around the game. I mean, he was a Texas student assistant and defensive special assistant for 3 years. Sam Houston State, he was their D-line coach for a few years. Then he went to East Carolina as a D-line coach, UTSA as a D-line coach, UTSA for a couple of years. Then he goes to Miami as a DN coach, and then he gets to the Texans as an assistant D-line coach. So he's been in the game coaching for like 15 years. This isn't like Gerard Johnson gets in a program and he's a quality control specialist and then an assistant QB coach, and all of a sudden he's the QB coach for the number 2 overall pick. Like he's had a lot of skin in the game. I think it's a matter of time for Rod Wright. I would actually be very excited for him, but I don't think it would be good for the Texans.
Yeah, thankfully I haven't seen his name connected to too many people, so that's been a positive. My other name was going to be, just because I want to see what he could do, because the improvement from year 1 to year 2 was there when it previously hadn't been at that position. My other answer was going to be Cole Popovich.
That would have been one of my other answers with Cole Popovich. But I do think that with Cole Popovich, I like his current role. But when you look at the fact that he seems to be in control of a lot of these coaching hirings, I feel like the Texans, when it comes to their offensive staff, they could be living a Cody Stoots like lifestyle?
What's that mean?
Too much pop. I think they could be having too much pop.
I don't have too much pop.
And consuming too much pop. The Cody Stoots lifestyle, going back to college to now, they might be making a good thing a little bit too much with Cole Popovich. Too much pop, like Cody Stoots.
I mean, they didn't make that many changes, so if there's more changes to come and it's a bunch of Cole Popovich's friends, okay, but they only made one change, tight ends coach, and a couple of assistants, which we don't really count them. Like they changed out the tight end, which by the way, the team is not done yet. Like the team has not fired those guys that have been reportedly fired yet.
What if they don't get fired?
Well, then, I mean, Alexander had the Moreland bit of news, and then Aaron Wilson had the assistant linebacker and offensive assistant news. So,
hey, bro, Alpha Aaron here.
Speaking of Alpha Aaron, Beta Aaron on the chat says Bernard Stroud's hair is expected to make a full recovery per sources at David Mulligetta.
We got joke screen names now about Alpha Aaron.
It's been going, dude.
Oh man,
that's been going. All right. So next question here on a hump day. Join us 3 Fridays from now at Spanky's, February 20th. The SNL Combine send-off. Who's your top free agent you want the Texans to sign?
I know we just talked about the offensive line a little bit. I mean, my top guy is Tyler Linderbaum. Go get a center. Go lock that position up for the next few years. I know it's not going to be cheap. Nice stuff costs a lot of money in free agency. And I know that there's been plenty of offensive linemen that have changed teams in free agency. And it's like, well, man, they got the bag and they weren't very good at that next spot. I don't get that vibe from Tyler Linderbaum's game. I don't get that vibe from Tyler Linderbaum. Go get that center. Go right the wrong from the draft a few years ago and plop him right there in the middle for the next 4 or 5 years and don't worry about it.
I'm going to go with Breece Hall.
Not Kenneth Walker.
I'm going to go with Breece Hall if he's so available. I'll take Breece Hall. Kenneth Walker I would take too, but I'm going to go with Breece Hall. The guy who is going to be hungry to win, can do everything, and I think would be a nice compliment to Woody Marks. So that will be mine. I'll go Breece Hall, you go Tyler Linderbaum. And that's not cheap. That's definitely not cheap. So
no, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of other investments if you make either one of those investments. You're not going to be shopping for a whole bunch of stuff if you get one of those two big names. I'd take a less impressive center to still get a nice running back though. I'd be flexible from that standpoint.
Is Joe Mixon the biggest health what if under D'Amico Ryans?
How many more games do they win if Joe Mixon plays this season?
Year?
Like this 2025 season?
Maybe 1 or 2.
I mean,
assuming that he doesn't fall off and he's what he was the year before. That's the assumption, right?
Yeah. Let's just say he was pretty close to 2024 Joe Mixon.
1 or 2.
I mean, if they win 2 more football games, like they're maybe the number 2 seed, maybe the 1 seed. I mean, they would. Let's assume one of the 2 games they flip is not Denver. Then they're the 2 seed.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty big one. I would say the other one is, and this is kind of indirect and just something else, is would they have beat Jarrett Stidham and the Broncos if they got past New England? I mean, because that was kind of like the laid out thing. So that would be the other one that I would have. But yeah, I don't know that D'Amico has had like as significant of an injury as the mysterious case of Joe Mixon.
They had 100-yard rushing performance. It was by Jawar Jordan, and
after they got rid of him multiple times.
Yeah, and it was against Arizona, which was playing for nothing and had nothing going. Mixon had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mixon had 7 100-yard performances last year. And the fact that you would have had Woody Marks to kind of keep Joe fresh throughout the course of the year, you wouldn't have seen that kind of late season skid like you did in 2024 from Mixon. That was Mixon and the line, I think. Like a better performing offensive line. They could have been a really different team with Joe Mixon. So he'll go down in the D'Amico Ryans era as the biggest injury what if for me. Now obviously they didn't have him. They knew they weren't going to have him by summertime. So, could they have adjusted, done something different? Number 2 for me would be,
would he have fallen off? I mean, that's a fair question.
Yeah. Would he have been a 22? How close to 2024 would he have been?
That adds to the what if. That doesn't take away from the what if.
Yeah. 2024, even if he was just kind of close to 2024 Joe Mixon, wasn't even the same guy, that's better than what they had for most of the year. And he can make the line look better too. So that's my big one. And then number 2 would, I guess I'd like to have seen what happened if Stephon Diggs never got hurt, because I suppose there's a chance he performs pretty well down the stretch, and then also maybe he sticks around.
Yeah, I don't know what was going to happen if he would have stayed healthy with that contract. Like, do they just try to start over? Is he a little bit more aggressive than he was, just basically getting it back with New England? That would have been an interest. I mean, that's a what if though. Like what?
Like, could they have beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs last year with Joe Mixon? I mean, with Stephon Diggs?
Couldn't have hurt. I mean, they had Jared Wayne running routes and tripping over himself.
That's what I mean, if you threw Diggs into one of those situations, and it's just like, okay, then they played for an AFC championship last year instead of being close this year. Like, but Mixon and Diggs, and it's unfortunate because those were 2 worthwhile additions that were like, you're pretty excited about once you got them. And then neither one long-term turned out the way that you wanted it to. Because it does feel to me like there was a hope that Diggs just gets them where they need to go and they could part ways just because they adjusted the contract the way they did. But I definitely believe, when they got Mixon, I definitely believe they intended for him to be the running back for 2 years at least. And he was only the running back for 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, all signs pointed to that. There's zero doubt about that. Rick on the chat says the mysterious Christian Harris issues. Those weren't mysterious. He was rolling around with the cast on his calf, and D'Amico just didn't want to say that he was more hurt than he was. That was just D'Amico being a weirdo. I gave him every opportunity to not be a weirdo, but that was just basically D'Amico being a weirdo. Like, he had a surgery and they didn't want to say it. So there's no like mystery there. The Mixon is a mystery.
Yeah.
Christian Harris just got hurt.
And it seems like he never bounced back from whatever he did deal with last year, which again, nobody really talked about it. So the expectation was he'd just be really good or be back to himself, but nobody gives him any grace because nobody ever talked about his injury, which is another one of those, we're protecting the player. Yeah, but now everybody thinks he sucks, and he might suck because you can't put him on the football field, but they don't think he sucks because he's less physically gifted because of an injury. They just think he sucks.
Yeah, it was keeping it real goes wrong with D'Amico.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. That was very strange by old D'Amico.
Swarm.
Kyle Nance says, guess who's back? What do you think about them pursuing Cade Mays, the Panthers center?
It's fine. He feels like the super overpay lineman that's already kind of like, everybody's already kind of paying attention and looking to see who's going to end up as a free agent. And it took him a while to kind of get settled. He got settled in Carolina and played okay. A former 6th rounder. This guy screams overpay special though, without the resume that some of these other offensive linemen in free agency have.
Yeah, no doubt. Highland Williams Sr. says, you guys said you were out on Stephon. Look at him now. What about him? I mean, he's had an all right year. I mean, I still would have been out on him, honestly. I don't look at Stephon Diggs as the one that got away. I think the hindsight was how would he have contributed last year? He was 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns this year, 85 catches. He was good. I don't like he's like one of the guys that got away.
I had no interest in Stephon Diggs being on the Texans in making the amount of money that he's making with New England.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. No. Nothing like that. It's just a matter of last year. So yeah, I don't really think that. What's locked down on offense? You mentioned 2 offensive linemen. Where are they? Where are they at on tight end? The wide receivers, obviously, they're 5 deep there. So,
and the general manager basically said he loved the wide receiver room. So I wouldn't anticipate massive changes there. Maybe a veteran addition to push a little bit in the back end of that wide receiver room. But I would think that wide receiver 1 with Nico Collins, 2 with Jaden Higgins, and your slot spot with Noel, I think those are good as gold. Those are 3 spots on the offense taken care of. I would say 2 on the offensive line. We had the discussion that maybe they would say 3 on the offensive line. Let's call it 3 on the offensive line. So starters at wide receiver, 3 starters on the offensive line. Until they do something to Dalton Schultz, I'm going to assume he's the starting tight end and Cade Stover's his backup. Like I would think that's kind of locked down right now with the chance to pry it open.
it's just such a mistake. It's just such a mistake at this point, the Cade Stover thing. Like it's like relying on him to be your number 2 tight end is just it's a big mistake. It's not he needs to be competing for a roster spot next year in year 3. He's not a good blocker. He doesn't catch the ball well. Maybe there's some sort of like massive improvement, massive jump. Oh, by the way, he gets hurt. Like it's a big mistake to count on Cade Stover to be TE2. If he develops into that, cool. But I mean, you should be very, very open, whether it's a 2nd round pick, a 3rd round pick, a day 3 pick, free agency, to getting someone who maybe heading into camp has the upper hand on paper on Cade Stover when it comes to being TE2. Like just relying on him to be TE2 at this point is a mistake.
I would now. I think we're doing what the Texans have locked down, not what Cody has locked down. He would not be locked down for Cody, but the Texans, it feels like he's kind of in that spot. They feel good about him. I don't know why, but that's where he is right now. And then one of the 2 running backs you use a lot is locked down with Woody Marks. I would hope that there's nobody else that they could say is right there with Woody in the running back room. Chubb's a free agent. Dare is a free agent. They barely use British Brooks. Jawar Jordan was a healthy scratch at one point.
British Brooks is a special teamer at this point.
Yeah, so one of the 2 running backs you regularly use, that spot is occupied by Woody Marks. What the other spot gets occupied by, that's a TBD and hopefully something really impressive. And then, of course, quarterback is locked up too.
Does the fact defensive coach will win a Super Bowl, does it make you feel better about D'Amico? We talk about defensive-minded coaches. I mean, this Sunday, one of them is going to hoist a Lambo. So I think when you talk about that, does that make you feel better about the head coach that you have here?
Absolutely. Especially because it feels like his side of the football is taken care of and not going to be an issue anytime soon. I think that'd be one of the scary things about the Patriots the next couple of years is their defense still can like come along a little bit more under Vrabel, but D'Amico having his part of the ball taken care of. Now, it seems like both these guys nailed their offensive coordinator hire from right off the bat, which is one of the hardest parts of the job, being the head coach, is having the right coaches under you. So it seems like both these guys nailed it. Well, D'Amico's got to, he's got to kind of wade through that still.
The beauty about it for Vrabel is McDaniels ain't going anywhere. Like he's not. Right. No one's making him the head coach again. So he's there with you. It's almost like Spags in Kansas City at this point. Like he got a second chance because of the work he did with Mac Jones. He ain't going nowhere. We're gonna see what McDonald can do without Kubiak. I got a feeling they're probably gonna miss him a little bit. So that's kind of the difference there when it comes to the coordinator. But I'm with you. Like on one hand, I say, yeah, it's encouraging to see a defensive-minded coach, but Mike Vrabel's 2 for 2 as a head coach when it comes to picking offensive coordinators. Like he had Arthur Smith with the Titans and he had Josh McDaniels with the Patriots. Mike McDonald, he went with Kubiak and it's done well. D'Amico Ryans right now, depending on what happens with Nick Caley, he's 0 for 2. So yeah, it's cool, but what needs to be done is it's not a mystery. It's not like something that we really got to like sit here and have some sort of breakdown as to what it is. And I think there's reason to wonder if D'Amico's able to do it or not.
Well, not only do it, but when you have the ability, pick the right guy. Not to say that I feel like they picked the wrong guy in last offseason. That was the guy that I thought they should have picked. But if it's not working at the end of 2026, do you make the call? And, is he in charge of picking the offense coordinator again? Does he bring in some help? I don't know. It'd be very intriguing.
Yeah, he's gonna have. I mean, he's gonna have all the time in the world.
Are they closer to 0-2 on OCs, or are they closer to 1-2, or 1 for 2, or 0 for 2?
They're closer to 0 for 2. Like
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they're closer to 0 for 2. I mean, just because. Yeah, I would say yes. TX Perp Sipper says you guys don't feel triggered talking about adding new players, knowing we had enough this year to go to the Super Bowl, but the QB messed it up. I don't feel triggered. No. What do you mean?
I mean, do I feel like Landry and I should be doing this show from San Francisco right now? Yes.
Yeah, it sucks, but I also think Seattle would have smoked them, and I also think that you still have a chance to add players. So yeah, I'm. It's when you talk about adding players, it's not. Well, this team just needs. It's not triggered. It's part of the gig. It's the off season. So yeah, it does suck. I do agree with you. I get what you're saying, Tex Perp, but it's
and
so
hopefully they add enough guys that those guys can play well enough that the quarterback won't make those mistakes.
Yeah. Plus that comment is so PL, dude. That comment is so PL. Come on. Post locks, pre-locks. That comment is so pre-locks off. I don't know. What are we going to call the post CJ Stroud
the choppening?
Which coach's pets should, this is not a will, which of the coach's pets should they most quit? The Texans. And there's a few coaches' pets. So
I want your answer on this first, because they bother you more than they bother me.
So there's a few coaches' pets that they have right now. A few of them are really good. Like a few, the obvious ones are really good. I don't call those guys coaches' pets. I just call those guys good players. But the coaches' pets on the roster right now are Jake Andrews, Cade Stover, Brevin Jordan, Tank Dell, and Dare Gumbawale, although Dare's not under contract. So the question is, which of them should they most quit? Either one of the tight ends, man. Like, just seriously, it's getting terrible. Like, it's a very important position, and it's just not working. Like, you can make a case. Like, I'll even defend Dare Gumbawale. Like, Dare Gumbawale is a big part of what they do special teams wise. And in like an emergency situation, Dare Gumbawale can go out there and like at least be out there. I know that's not like the biggest praise, but he can at least be out there. Like, you've got to stop. Like, Brevin Jordan's been here a half decade, like 2 make or break seasons and 2 season-ending injuries in make or break seasons. Cade Stover was never like, where you drafted Cade Stover, you didn't necessarily expect him to make some sort of massive change. Like, you've got to get over this. And I think last year they might have just run out of assets and they might have been willing to bring in tight ends. But the fact that I can sit here and have a debate that Irv Smith might be the second best tight end that's been in the building in the last 2 years is bad. Like, you got to do something. You got to stop this. This has got to stop.
Yeah, it's Dare for me. I just can't convince me that you can't teach somebody else to do all the stuff he does. And have a better.
Lee Marks was literally doing it last year.
And have a better third, fourth running back on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Like, you mentioned Jawar Jordan earlier. I'm not trying to rehash the discussion that we've had, but I mean, you kept Damian Pierce around for 4 years. Darrigan Bawale's been around, for, I think, for a half decade. And the guy that you cut multiple times, the first time that he steps on the field, he's the first guy that has 100 yards for you. That's crazy. You want to talk about churn? That's that. So like it goes back to the running back and tight end bitching that I do every offseason. But at some point you got to stop this. This has just got to stop.
I just they are closer to having things figured out in a couple of different offensive spots. They now need to continue to invest on those offensive spots that they sort of deprioritized or ignored the past couple of seasons.
And this is also like, and I'm kind of going all over the place on this, but the other thing that I think is interesting is like, just like this year, I want to be in the linebacker market, like on day 2, or maybe on the back end of day 1, depending on what happens with Sonny Styles. By the way, did you see that sleeper mock draft? He went to 24.
I liked what the Texans got in that mock draft, though.
They did end up getting Mr. Hunter, which not terrible. But last year was the time to be in the tight end market. It's not as much this year, so that kind of sucks. You'll find some, but it was the time last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they could find enough to make the tight end room a better tight end room than it was last year. I don't think that that's like some Herculean challenge that they can't make the tight end room better. I certainly think they could find those guys. And I like this tight end class more than I like not more than I like last year's probably.
I was going to say.
But I like this tight end class more than some.
Yeah, I did too. For sure. Highland Williams says Byron Leftwich. Are you talking about to play tight end? I think he's too old. Really, he's not talking about the OC thing, right? What are we doing here?
Is Byron even in football anymore?
Wasn't he like a Dion assistant on the Colorado staff or something like that?
So he was the OC in Tampa in 2022, and then he did coach in 23 or 24, and then he was at Colorado last year.
Byron Leftwich. What are we doing? Did your computer freeze 4 years ago? Jay Glazer reports that Max Crosby is likely done with the Raiders. Good for them, by the way. This is a good way to get good. We've seen it with the Texans. We've seen it with the Bears. When you have that number 1 or number 2 pick and you also have draft equity, it's a good way to get good quick. Ask the Texans and ask the Bears. Is there any chance he gets added to an AFC obstacle? In other words, one of the other teams in the way of the Texans, is there any chance Max ends up there?
I mean, this has got the Buffalo Bills written all over it, right?
Possibly. I could see Buffalo. I could see Philly.
Philly, yeah, that'd be intriguing. The Texans play Philly next year, by the way.
Yeah, I could see Philly. But I don't.
I think I like the list of AFC teams are a lot shorter than the list of NFC teams that would do it. Like I think Buffalo. It doesn't feel like they would trade him to Denver or Kansas City, or they'd have the best offers. So I'd take them out. Baltimore, maybe. Just really kind of juice up that side of the football.
They always do stuff like that.
Defensive-minded head coach to replace Harbaugh. And then, I mean, Cincinnati, but they need more than just Max Crosby.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Good for him. He kind of set the table last year by leaving. So now he looks like the guy, and they're just on different stretches. He deserves to play somewhere with a winner. By the way, did you see Jim Schwartz yesterday getting introduced? Did you see that money quote he had about Jim Schwartz? Or no, not Jim Schwartz, Todd Monken.
There you go. Yeah, Todd Monken talking about Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I just want to play this. This is pretty, like, if you're not excited about a hire, just listen to this. He's asked about Jim Schwartz, the D coordinator. Listen, this is a money quote right here.
My anticipation is we're not going to change the system. Very difficult to go against. I'm not planning on changing the system. We're built for the system that they're in currently. And I'm not going to get into staffing because that's not at this time to get into that. But they can be rest assured that we're going to keep the same system. We're still going to let them attack. We're still going to let them play free. I can't see any other way. They're a big reason why I took this job. The defensive players. I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I have a lot of respect for Jim Schwartz. But as I would hope he has for me. But I took it because of the players that are here, the ownership, Andrew Berry,
Wait for this,
and the ability to build this roster from the ground up on the offensive side. So, and I said this to the other guys. I didn't think I'd say it, but I'm going to say it. When I was preparing for the Cleveland Browns, I wasn't trying to chip Jim Schwartz. I was chipping Myles Garrett.
Jesus.
And when I was sliding a protection to the outside backers or Grant Delpit that were blitzing off the edge, I was sliding the protection of the players. And when I was worried about throwing to the right against Denzel Ward or Tyson Campbell to the left, that's who I was worried about throwing at.
Jeez, dude.
So I guess Jim Schwartz is going to be the DC.
Good Lord. That was a very intense comment there by Mr. Monken.
Well, he's not wrong. I mean, defensive coordinators, I feel like, have less impact on things than offensive coordinators do. And ultimately, the best players go out there and just go make plays. Just go let them do what they do. You don't have to overcomplicate things on defense. When you do, a lot of times it's because you don't have the talent and you do need to kind of try to trick the offense or put things together so that the limited talent you do have. But when you got dogs, you just let them go.
Super Bowl. What's the Super Bowl bet you think sucks, Cody?
I'm done with the national anthem. I don't care anymore.
Did you ever? You took like the over-under?
Well, it's just like when people like this person's singing the national anthem. Oh, well, they've sung it 4 different times. It's gone over this time and under this time. I'm done with the national anthem. Also, if you bet on the coin toss, call the number. And then I think the Gatorade one's silly too.
Yeah, the Gatorade one just seems like you could kind of fix that, right?
I would if I was the Gatorade guy. Be calling Mama Stoots and be like, it's gonna be green.
So the lesson here is Cody hates the national anthem. So
that's not what I said. I said I hate betting on the national anthem.
Cody's not a big America guy. So there we go. I don't really like the Super Bowl bet. I've never really been into the anthem stuff, the halftime, all that. I just like to bet on the game itself. So the bet that I'd love to take, I'm taking the over in Barner yards. I think whatever Barner's yards are, I'm taking. I think we saw Schultz have, 42 yards on one catch against New England. I think there's going to be a lot of attention on Jackson Smith and Jigba, appropriately so. Whatever Barner's over is on yards, that's what I'm taking. I might actually take him to score a touchdown as well. So I'm going to be very Barner heavy in this game.
It'd be Albert Javante Barner.
Yes, him.
I did not know his middle name was Javante.
That surprises me. That probably wouldn't have been in my top 600 guesses if we're asking Javante. That would not have gotten there. Maybe Jordan, maybe James, but Javante. No, I did not see that from Mr. Barner.
Former Indiana tight end before he was a Michigan tight end too, by the way.
Yep, he went from IU when they sucked, and then he went to Michigan, and he did his thing.
Yep. Javante. What a middle name for AJ Barner.
Very surprised by that.
Yep. I love this. This is one of my favorites. More than 2.5 players to attempt to pass. So you're just basically rooting for a trick play at some point.
So you're thinking that Kubiak's going to do what he did against the Texans and throw a little Cooper Kupp pass?
Cooper Kupp pass, or
has done it too.
McDaniels is the king of trick plays, or one team gets up big and the backup QB comes in.
I could see Travion making a big play in this game too. Like Travion total yards. Maybe it's just 'cause it's draft time and I get like really romantic about second round running backs. Maybe I'll take I'm just going to bet on all the second round running backs. I wish Charbonnet were there. I would even sprinkle something on him. But I'm just going to go with Walker. Although he might have been third. No, or he was second too, right?
Yeah, he was second rounder.
He was second, and so was Travion. So there you go. Ramondre was fourth or fifth. So yeah, the day 2 backs. I'm just gonna have like a day 2 back parlay. I'm just gonna bet everything good on the day 2 backs.
The day 2 backs parlay. There's got to be some more like buried somewhere on the roster, right? You get like a special teams tackle or something. No, I guess not. Like, let's see here.
How about like a Mac Hollins touchdown? What can I get for a Mac Hollins touchdown? Probably like 10-1.
I gotta imagine there's pretty good odds on that one.
Yeah, he's still in the show, the barefoot bit, all the other crap he's got going.
He seems like a tough hang.
You think he's too much? You don't think it's a good bit? You think the bit goes too far?
It just feels like he would be like it would be like always like, hey, somebody needs to. Oh, hey, Max showed up to the party. He didn't have any shoes on. Oh, man.
Do you think he's a tougher hang than Darrell Taylor? Did you hear Mike Vrabel talking about Darrell Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
He was basically like, they're like, did he buy into the Patriots? He's like, well, we're going to release him. It's going to come out in 2 hours, so no.
Yeah. Also seems like a tough hang.
Seems like?
I never hung out with him, so I don't know.
You've been in the same room. Who would your Super Bowl MVP bet be?
I mean,
Darnold. I'll just go Sam Darnold. It's probably not. You probably can't even get positive odds on it. I'll just go Sam Darnold.
I'm gonna go Jackson Smith and Jigba.
What's that, like 2-1? That's probably not even good odds either.
Yeah, but it's better than the quarterbacks.
It's just sometimes you just don't overthink this one.
What's the most fun long shot?
Most fun long shot, like
a defensive player, a Manowari. How about a sack and a pick six?
Like Cooper DeJean last year. I had Cooper DeJean scoring a touchdown last year.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is 5.5 to 1.
That's good.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker is 8.5 to 1.
That's good. What's Darnold?
Darnold is plus 115.
That's good. That's good. That's good odds. Getting more than even money, Sam Darnold?
I might do a little sprinkle in a Manowari.
I'm gonna have to do that. There you go. Sam Darnold. He's gonna be up there. Always believe in yourself. By the way, the word on the street is, and I never envy Radio Row. Radio Row is the worst radio you can possibly do. It sucks. Especially if like the PD's making you get like guests and shit, like the worst ones. I hear San Francisco is not really showing out very well logistically when it comes to this Super Bowl.
Ooh.
I heard the media, like the media day was like a 2-hour commute for like however long.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not really showing out. So I don't know that San Francisco is going to be in like the everyday rotation. After New Orleans did what they did, like New Orleans, you can walk everywhere. I don't know that they're going to be in the rotation in San Fran.
Not going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah, not happening.
You got to imagine at some point, Nashville's going to want to be in the rotation. They build that brand new stadium. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be covered.
They'll be in it, and they'll deserve it. It's a good city.
And then you just add them to some of the, if something gets played at the Georgia Dome, eventually it would also get added to Nashville because they're going to be like, I think, kind of the same level of stadium.
Yeah, and I think Atlanta's awesome. I think that New Orleans is obviously awesome. Houston's not good for the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, like it's just not. It's just not.
It's just
the downtown is a disgrace. Like the way that the logistics and stuff is just a disgrace. Let's just be serious. Dallas sucks. There's too much. Like although they have done a good job of surrounding stuff around it to make it a little bit better. They've at least put in some effort there, but it shouldn't be in the rotation. But really, it's New Orleans. It's going to be Nashville,
Atlanta,
LA. I think they did all right. So there we go.
and then people like Arizona.
I like Arizona, man. Arizona's
Yeah.
badass. Arizona's a fun state, man.
I like their baseball stadium, but I guess they're trying to get rid of it. So
There we go. All right. Appreciate everyone for joining us during the off season. Some people say this is the slow time. It is not. We want to hang out with you at Spanky's February 20th, 3 Cody Stoots showers away from now. We'll see you at Spanky's on February 20th. And the week after that, we will be at the NFL Combine for a week. And that is awesome. That is incredible. We look forward to that. That's when we really, really kick it up in draft mode. We get in free agent mode. We get all the rumors. And there's word that not every member of the Texans staff will be attending the Combine. There's some whispers. There's some whispers that maybe D'Amico Ryans is going to be the Kyle Shanahan this year, and he's not going to be at the NFL Combine. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. There's just been kind of like chatter. Do you need to go to the Combine or not? That's what I've heard.
we'll see.
I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm going to ask every coach anyway. Hey, what's the value of being at the Combine?
We'll see. We'll see what the head coach decides to do. I didn't spot him in Mobile, Alabama this year like I did last year. So
He's been cramming that DT tape.
maybe.
By the way, Patrick says that was a rank middle finger. There's no doubt about it. All right. Be sure to subscribe.
I'm a Mr. Sacco you at Spanky's.
Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. Be sure to always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.